Hey everyone, thought I'd take you on a bit of a trip today, walking through the neighborhood that I've been staying in here in Mitaka City. And this is a pretty typical neighborhood that you'd find pretty much anywhere in many parts of Tokyo, many parts of Japan. Most cities have small neighborhoods like this one. It's not all flashing lights. So I wanted to take you on a bit of a tour, show you some of the different things. The street that I'm on actually is a really nice, pretty street. I love this. The number of fruit bushes, fruit trees that are around here, there's just so many of them. Look at that. Look at the color on that. Those have been turning for the last little while. One thing you'll notice though is the roads are really tight. There is not the same kind of width that you find on roads back in North America. And in fact, if you look where I'm walking, you'll see the white line here is kind of the separator of the sidewalk. People just kind of tend to walk down the side of the road here. There is a sidewalk over there, but a lot of people tend to use that mostly for bicycling and that kind of thing. What's interesting is the style of houses here. If you take a look as we kind of come up here, you notice that in North America, we always try and strive for like curb appeal. Everybody talks about that. Real estate agents talk about, oh, does the house have curb appeal? And houses here do have curb appeal to a certain extent, but it's considerably different than what we'd see in North America because you don't have the same style of yards, the same size of yards as we have in North America. And so as a result, people make do with the space that they have, and it can be pretty tight at times. You also see a lot of vending machines, and this one here is pretty typical of one that you'd find in most neighborhoods. Up here you've got things like Coca-Cola products, imported products like that. Then down here you have the coffees, and these are the canned coffees, which I've talked about in a previous video. Bottled waters here as well. If you notice some of the prices as well, 100 yen is going to get you that can of coffee. Coca-Cola is going to cost you about 150 yen. So prices are actually pretty reasonable and very similar to what you'd pay in a typical convenience store. We're coming up on an intersection here, and if you notice it, again, it's really tight and tiny, and here comes a car. And actually one of the things that's really handy is that up top you can actually get a bit of an idea of what's coming from where, because they have those mirrors placed there. So we are safe to turn the corner and keep on walking. The other thing on the road that I've just figured this out in the last couple of days, if you notice on the road, there's green here on the road. And actually as we come up to another intersection ahead, you're going to see red on the road. And from what I've been able to figure out is that it helps determine right of way. So there's no stop signs or anything along these roads, but the colors I think are what kind of determine. So if you come up to an intersection and you approach and you see red, the duty is on you to stop. But if you see green, you have the right of way to keep on going. These are some newer homes that are in the neighborhood. Chris says they're only a couple years old. Beautiful homes though. I love the construction of them, the brick accent on them. And again, the yards are really tiny, right, compared to North America, but really practical, really made well use of. The other thing that you notice in Japan is that everybody backs into their driveway and into their parking spots. This whole thing of driving in nose first is not a thing. Right here, we've got a garden. I don't know if this is like a community garden so much or if it's actually a commercial garden of some sort, but I've seen a guy out on a tractor tilling it over the last few weeks every once in a while, and there's the smell of fresh manure off of it and that, so that's pretty typical. To give you a sense of the climate here, I mean, it's been a little cool here lately compared to what it normally was when I first got here, but if you take a look at these bushes here, you can see we still have flowers blooming. It's really pretty. All right, so we're getting close now to one of the major streets. If you noticed, there have been no stoplights, no stop signs, nothing like that along the way. And when we get up to the main street, it gets a lot busier. Back here, things are a lot quieter. In fact, probably me doing this video is probably the noisiest thing that's going to happen on this street today. Over here, we've got some more houses. I love this house here because if you notice, they've got a little tuft of grass that's along their windowsill there, and that's all fake. None of that grass is real. That's a thing you actually go to the hardware stores here, you can buy, and it looks real. Like they've got to the point where like there's little tufts of brown mixed in and looks beautiful. But no, most people don't have real lawns here. That's not a thing. Up here, you're going to see another intersection coming up, and like I mentioned before, see how there's the green on the road. I'm pretty sure that means we have right of way, whereas you see there's red. on the other two parts of the intersection, which means those people would conceivably have to stop. I look at a lot of the driving and a lot of the parking spots around here, and I always wonder, gee, could I actually drive in this city? Because it's so tight, it's so narrow, right? And so I'm not too sure. Right here is a cemetery, and I won't go into it because I kind of think it's probably disrespectful to kind of videotape inside of it. But if you take a quick peek past the gate there, you'll notice all the monuments and that kind of stuff. And there's actually a really big one. I was in Yanaka in my Yamanote line video, and in that neighborhood, there's a massive cemetery with some really elaborate monuments. Oh, look at that. These have been getting more and more orange every day as I've been walking by. They're pretty ripe. They're pretty ripe. All right, this is the backside of an apartment building here in Tokyo. And what's really interesting is that you can always, if you're walking through a neighborhood and you're never sure whether you're facing north or you're facing south, all you have to do is come on an apartment building like this one. And when you see all the doors facing to you, you know that you're standing on the north side of the building facing south, because everybody wants a southern exposure for a number of reasons, not the least of which is you want to be able to get some sun on your clothesline when you're trying to dry your clothes after washing them, and everybody kind of wants that sunshine kind of shining into their place. So if you notice here, everybody on this side of the building has balconies, but on the back side it's all the doors to get into the apartments. And of course, today would have to be the day that I forget my umbrella. I walked right past it as I was leaving the house, and I thought, it hasn't rained yet today. I did laundry this morning. I thought, it's not going to rain. It hasn't rained all day, and now it's coming down in buckets. Just my luck. All right. We are here now at the major intersection where I catch the bus from. This is Nishino, is what the intersection is called. And same with the bus stop. And if you notice, it's considerably more busy than the residential street that we were just down. Thanks a lot for taking a walk with me through the neighborhood today. And of course, as always, if you want to follow everything I'm doing, it's gonejohn.com, and all the links to social media are on there. And I'm going to go find a way to get dry. We'll talk to you soon.